Hey guys, Scott here once again with a new beer dissection video. What we're going to be doing today, if you haven't caught some of my other videos, this is not the first one I'm doing, but from Southern Tier Brewing Company, I have their regular IPA. And the reason why I say regular is if you haven't seen the other videos, like Sam Adams and a lot of other breweries, they put together a compilation pack of 15 beers. There were 5 styles. There was an IPA like this one, a double IPA, I think 2 hazies, a blonde ale, and things like that. So that interests you. And actually, so far, at least at the filming of this video, I should say, looking back at some of the ones I've been doing from Southern Tier, have been pretty pleasant beers. So I've done a video already on the double IPA, or 2X. They put it like 2 times IPA, presuming it's just double IPA. So this is just the regular IPA here. Again, Southern Tier, if you haven't watched any of my other videos, they're a brewery from Lakewood, New York, about southwest of Buffalo. Those of you not familiar with New York, the Southern Tier is a strip of the state that's kind of below. I'm sure there's an official designation of where it starts, but I know it's a little bit south of Albany, maybe south of Syracuse, and it runs west like you're going out towards the western part of the state. I'm presuming they are naming it for that reason. And I know Lakewood is not too far from the Pennsylvania border in New York, so I guess another reason why you would call it Southern Tier Brewing Company. I've had some of their beers before doing this compilation pack, before I even started doing this channel, but never recall having any of these in particular. So Southern Tier Brewing Company IPA, this one is registering at 7% alcohol, which is pretty close to standards for style. Not too much more information. Best buy date is, if it's like the other ones, it's May of 23. So I'm filming this at the beginning of February of 23. So, reasonably fresh. I wish they would have a, canned on date or packaging date, because it gives a little better idea of how old the beer is. And again, nothing really else other than, I don't know what hops they're using in this or any other information. So I'm going in as blind almost as much as you guys are. All right, so my familiar tulip glass I particularly like for beers like this. And let's crack this bad boy open here. Okay. Okay, so pouring a nice gold, maybe slight light amber color. Roughly about a ½ inch of head, white to tan head. Usually I've been pouring a little bit more aggressively these days, but so I usually get a little bit more head here, but looks very nice. Maybe a slight bit of chill haze, but that's pretty much it. Even looking at the, can almost see myself through there. So a little bit of chill haze, again, that light amber gold type of color. I'm presuming they're probably using a little bit of crystal malt or so. So let's take a whiff of the aroma. Like I said, when you're taking a whiff of these, sometimes you can just bring it past your nostrils, breathe, take short sniffs. You can take a long sniff, really take it in. If you need to reset your nasal passages, put your nose in your arm, breathe in a little bit, and you can kind of reset it. Or you can kind of cover the glass, spin it a little bit, and then take a whiff of it. So let's take a sniff of the aroma. Okay, so definitely getting some pine here. Spruce tips, pine, slightly floral, maybe a little citrus, and maybe a little not pineapple so much, grapefruit, but more floral and piney. Maybe an herbal to a certain degree, not overwhelming with any type of fruit aroma. Sometimes with the New England IPAs, we're getting hit so much with pineapple, mango, and grapefruit that you don't get that with this. The piney makes me think that they're even using some Pacific Northwest hops, but but very pleasant again. I mean, I've been, really happy with these Southern Tier beers. Maybe a little bit of white grape on the nose. White bread, light crust type of malt aroma. But really nice, guys. Okay, so let's take a swig of this. Cheers. Oh, yeah. Immediately you get a little bit of that bitterness. I mean, usually it takes a while for that bitterness to set in. I kind of get the bitterness almost immediately on the tongue. But I get that slightly floral, again, piney kind of taste in the on the palate, like I did with the aroma. Kind of medium carbonation. Get a little astringency. The aftertaste, again, lightly fruity, like almost like an apple, with pine in there. That's kind of what I'm getting on the aftertaste. Again, medium bodied, like I said, medium carbonation. But kind of floral, like you had not that I recommend doing this, putting flowers in your mouth, and you're kind of getting that type of, with some, spruce tips and piney type of aroma. Almost like it was a West Coast IPA. That's kind of what this is kind of resonating with me right now. I get a little bit of a, Granny Smith apple when I smell it here. Not to the point of saying it being like have acetaldehyde or anything, nothing like that, but just perception. Okay. But we still get that breadcrumb, light toast. Again, just trying to take in that aftertaste a little bit because I'm getting something else. But, slightly herbal maybe. Definitely not resiny like some other Pacific Northwest hops would be. So I would say, if I was a betting man, I would say this is kind of a little more typical of a West Coast IPA style. But, pretty crisp, pretty clean tasting. It's only, what did I say? 7%. Oh, I do have the IBU units. It's 60 IBUs. So, we do have some pretty good pronounced to assertive bitterness there. Hence why I was thinking more West Coast IPA. But there definitely has that citrus, pine kind of flavor to it. So again, definitely not your New England IPA. So if you're looking for some like New England IPA or tropical fruit, passion fruit, mango, this is not the IPA for you. If you like West Coast IPAs with citrus, pine, enough assertive bitterness, remember New England IPAs, I've said this on most of my IPA videos, don't have a lot of bitterness. They're usually more heavily hopped with those citrus and passion fruit and tropical fruit on the flavor and the aroma, but they lack the bitterness on the front end as far as the compared to, say, the West Coast IPA. So if you like West Coast IPA, this is right up your alley. What I pair this with, typical, IPA pairing, especially because you've got that pronounced bitterness. You've got good carbonation with it. Will cut through a lot of things. So your typical blue cheeses, your Stilton, a nice sharp cheddar cheese if you're looking at cheeses, even a Manchego, other sheep or goat milk type of cheeses. This could be a little heavy for like a really light, like mozzarella or ricotta and things like that. But, braised kind of chicken dishes, light lightly marinated steaks, things like that. Pork tenderloin with, even some, creamy sauces on some of your meats and proteins. And, even if you're looking at Italian food, this would cut through some carbonara, sauces and things like that. Even your typical, what was I thinking of your typical red sauces that you would get with that. Be great with pesto too. The oils and stuff. It would really kind of cut through there and cleanse the palate. So again, guys, the beer dissection is Southern Tier IPA. I would give this a good, good B. Good B, B plus. Like I said, I've been really happy with these Southern Tier beers. Depending on what your taste is for that particular time, this may not, fit your fancy there every single day, but it's a good solid beer, and a 12-pack for this that I got through this Southern Tier for roughly $20. I think it's a good buy. Definitely better than the Goose Island one that I did, if you've watched that video or that series of videos. So again, guys, Southern Tier, regular IPA. In that pack, they do have a double IPA if you like a little more oomph in your hops and your alcohol. They have a couple of hazies in there. Seek out my videos if you are interested in that. Other than that, guys, that kind of ends this beer dissection. Until the next one, have a great day. Take care.